credit most influential in your life, Dick? And again, it can be more than one, personal or professional.
I've had great luck with great mentors.
Mm-hmm.
The single person that motivates me every single day is my dear wife, Artie.
That's great.
I'm the
That's
luckiest
great.
guy in the world, and you've met her, and you know that's true.
Sure.
Beyond that, going back in history a bit, my dad,
Okay.
military, product of a family of 8.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be a doctor. He could afford medical school, certainly.
Sure.
Went to the Army as a medic in D-Day and Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was brought up, he taught me the value of honor. He taught me the value of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And he taught me the value of hard work. And I think Dad was my single greatest motivator. Plus in school, I went to Jefferson Community College. And that first opened in 1968.
Mm-hmm.
Every person there, new professors, new counselors, new out of the box. Everybody was inspired. I had some great counselors, Alan Steinberg, Lee Pennington.
Okay.
I came back from the service wanting to be a photographer and a philosopher.
There you go.
And they
now
got
you're a
me
philanthropist.
So they were halfway there.
Sure.
But they convinced me to turn to business as I moved to U of L and really helped ground me future forward. I've been very lucky.
Now, I mentioned in your bio you became a combat photographer during your time in Vietnam. Could you speak to that experience in broad strokes or as detailed as you like? I think that's a phenomenal aspect. And I know a lot of individuals, or a lot in the sense of we've had guests on the show that have a history with Vietnam. They don't really like to talk about it, but I've never had anyone from that angle, photograph it. Can you just talk to that for a moment?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Since Dad was in the service, I knew the minute I got out of high school, I wanted to go in the service. And this was 1965. I graduated on Friday. I was at Fort Knox on Saturday. And I got out a year early, so I was a very young 17.
Wow.
And I knew I wanted to go in and not do this,
Mm-hmm.
but Dad had made me take typing in high school as a preparation for my service. I wasn't even sure what he was doing, but he was right.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into the service. Instead of being in the infantry, I became a clerk. Since I volunteered, I had my first duty station was Germany. It was wonderful for a year. And I realized I could never make sergeant staying in Germany. And I really wanted to go to Vietnam to serve. So at that time, if you volunteered for Vietnam and you're in the service, you're there.
Wow.
And as soon as I arrived, I was a clerk typist.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a camera that I picked up in Germany. And that camera really changed my life because having a camera and having the ability to take good photographs, which I did,
Mm-hmm.
there were so many stories to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for an aviation battalion at their headquarters. And I started by taking a very brief story of a commanding officer getting an award.
Okay.
I think he got a Bronze Star. I photographed it, wrote a story. We sent it to a hometown news release newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he saw that he was in the newspaper, every other officer in the battalion knew that.
Okay.
And the NCOs, I was in great demand.
Okay.
So I'm a little
That's
humbled
amazing.
by my experience because I was in Vietnam. I photographed aviation primarily.
Okay.
So I was above it. I was around it. I was never in it. So I'd go out and shoot medevacs, or we'd do combat observation above it or around it. I'd come home at night and I'd watch Bonanza, I'd watch TV.
Okay.
We had air-conditioned hooches. It wasn't the experience that my buddies had that were in the infantry pulling triggers.
I appreciate you sharing that.
But I did have the opportunity to see a lot of the country. The camera saved me, and it gave me great opportunities to have great vision in Vietnam.